All right, everybody, welcome to today's video. I've got a lot of updates for the projects we've got planned for the Challenger this winter that I want to go over with you today. As you know, if you've been following along with the channel the last few months, back in early October, knowing that we have all these supply chain issues, I decided to go ahead and order a bunch of parts for this car for winter projects because I was hoping they would all get here in time for winter to actually hit. Well, everything was scheduled to be delivered by Thanksgiving, and well, that definitely didn't happen. We got a number of the components over the course of those 2 months, but there were still some key components for the front suspension that I was still waiting for from year one, namely the upper and lower control arms and the adjustable strut rods, which are all being made by QA1. So I called year one earlier this week to check and see what the status was, because I started searching around other websites and found that Speedway Motors had them in stock. So unfortunately, year one did not have an estimated date when QA1 was going to be sending the parts to them. So I went ahead and canceled the order from year one for those parts and placed it with Speedway, and Speedway has already shipped the parts. So in fact, by the time this video posts, those parts should be in hand and I'll be ready to go. Now, everything else has been arriving as expected. I got my order from Firmfeel a couple weeks ago, which is a new front sway bar, which is a 1 1/4 inch diameter, as well as all the associated end links and rear sway bar mounting brackets and bushings and end links, upgrading all the bushings and hardware. And so we're finally in a spot where we can get that stuff all taken care of. Also, my new rear leaf springs that I ordered from Espo Springs have arrived, so we can get those taken care of as well. And we're finally in a good place to get going on all these projects. So hopefully we'll get these knocked out here in the next few weeks and get those videos uploaded for you. And so you can see the thought process between why I chose all the individual components, as well as what the process is to install them. Now, good news is I've got a week off from my day job between Christmas and New Year's, so I should be able to dedicate that entire time of going through and installing all of these components and getting that content up for all of you. Now, there was one thing I did discover, because I thought I had all of the parts in hand to do the power window conversion, but upon closer inspection, I did realize that the outer weather strips on the doors and the quarter panels are definitely in need of replacement, which I've known they need to be replaced, but in order to replace them, they need to have the glass out of the car to be able to swap them out to get access to all the screw heads, at least on the doors. And so I've been trying to find those parts. I've got a local Mopar Restorations parts supplier here. He's about an hour and a half from me. He's supposed to be getting those in the next week or so. So once he gets those to me, I can go ahead and tackle the power window project on this. In the meantime, I can go through and do the wiring on it and get those connectors all wired in, so that way they're ready to hook up to the stock Mopar power window switches. So we'll go ahead and get that done in the next couple weeks as well. And even though I'm not ready for tires yet because of all the other hassles with delays and shipping that I've had with all the other components, I went ahead and ordered a brand new set of tires for the Challenger as well. And normally, since I've had this car for almost 25 years, I've always run BFG radial TAs with the raised white letters. And well, this time we're gonna change things up a bit. So we went ahead and got a set of Mickey Thompsons here. They are their Sportsman ST, so they still have the raised white letters, but it's a Mickey Thompson tire instead of a BF Goodrich tire. So I went with the same size I've got now, a 235/60/15 on the front and a 255/60/15 on the rear. Now, I also went ahead and ordered a pair of new 15/8 rally wheels for the back, because one of the rally wheels that I've got has some corrosion on it from when it was sitting when we were back living in the apartment, and I figured this is the perfect time to go ahead and replace it. So I went ahead, ordered a pair of wheels, so that way I can take this pair off and put them on the CUDA project as a roller until I get around to buying actual wheels and tires for that car, which is way down the pipeline because I still need to get the car put back into one piece. So, but that's where a lot of these parts that are gonna go from this car, the old leaf springs, the old front suspension components, for now, as a time being, they're gonna go on the CUDA project as just a stopgap to get the car a little more mobile and easier to move around once we get to the point when we actually start working on it. So when I got the 15/8 rally wheels in hand, I noticed that they were powder coated silver, and while it wasn't the exact same silver that the factory paint is, it was fairly close. So it got me thinking, well, maybe since the price of rally wheels isn't that expensive, maybe I just order a pair of 15.7s for the front, and then I'll just take this complete set of rally wheels and tires off of this car and use them for rollers on the CUDA project. So I went onto Year One's website, and for whatever reason, the 15.8s come in a powder coated silver, but the 15.7s come in a powder coated gray. So I was gonna have to paint wheels one way or another, so I went ahead and just said, forget it, we'll just keep the 7s that I've got on here now, and then I'll just paint the new 8s to match, and we'll do that going forward, and then everything will be matched on this one, and then I'll have a pair of 15 8-inch rally wheels and tires that I'll stick on the CUDA as a stopgap for roller purposes. So at this point, the only part that I'm missing for all my winter projects is the TA hood that I ordered from AAR Quality Fiberglass, also known as Stinger Fiberglass, and I just talked to them earlier this week, and they had even more orders than they anticipated for this specific hood, and there are 3 more ahead of me currently in production. So they said probably late January before I get the hood, which is a little bit of a letdown being it's delayed, but at the same time, it's probably better because it gives me more time to get all these other parts and projects installed and taken care of and clear up some garage space, so that way when that hood does arrive, I can go ahead and just jump right into getting that project taken care of. And so that's right now where everything is on this car, and we've got all the parts finally after 2.5 months, and so we can go ahead and start tackling these projects and bring that content to you guys. Now I have to say, there is another reason besides just quality content for you guys on doing these upgrades to the e-bodies for increased handling and things like that. The other reason I'm going through and doing all this for this car is next year is a very special year for this car, as it marks the 25th anniversary that I've owned this car. So September of 1997, if you've been following my channel since the beginning, you know is when I first brought this car home from my neighbor's backyard. And so next year being the 25th anniversary of me owning this car, it's definitely a great time to go ahead and tackle a lot of these projects that I've been wanting to do for years and get the car to that next level, make it that much nicer and enjoyable to drive and own. So that's today's video, guys. I hope you liked this information, this update. As always, if you did, go ahead and like and subscribe if you want to be kept updated with all my future videos as well. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next video.